Straight from the Mushroom Cloud. It's Nuclear Clown TV. I am your atomic and irradiated host, Dave. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at Savage Worlds Explorers Edition. Savage Worlds is a role-playing game system. If you buy this book, you're going to get a bunch of rules and no setting. They did this on purpose because they're going to sell you the settings later. Yeah. Personally, I like that formula. You put out a book, it's got the rules, then you put out your setting book separate. Anyone who's played the old 3rd edition Vampire games or, you know, any of the White Wolf stuff knows they would reprint the same rules in every game. Makes for thick books. The Explorers Edition is small, it's soft cover, full color, but it's only $9.99, which I really like. Anybody who plays role-playing games know if you want to buy a new role-playing game, you have to pay $30 and a couple of ounces of your blood. So having a nice, cheap core rule book is really nice and something that, personally, I appreciate. I think it's really cool of them to do. To the system, Savage Worlds does a lot right. It's really fun. It's really simple, and you can learn it quickly, which is really good in a lot of, because a lot of these systems, role-playing stuff in general, for new players, it's really intimidating. All these charts and all these, you know, all this unnecessary crap that goes into most role-playing game systems. And Savage Worlds is a lot easier to kind of digest than some stuff like that. It's not without its problems, though. After you make a couple of characters for this system, you will begin to see that you're taking a lot of the stuff over and over and over and over again. Due to its simple nature, a lot of the edges and stuff that they offer you, you will want to take again and again because they're just that good. I mean, for the sake of character flavor, every now and again you may stray and take something different, but we all know out of the edges you could take in character creation, there are a couple that you are going to see on a lot of people's character sheets. And that I understand, but character flavor to me means a lot. I would have liked if they would have had a whole new background list of just like flavor edges that you could have taken. Because everybody's going to take what's most useful to them right then and there. And a lot of the stuff, as cool as it is, you know, priority first. You want to pick up all your necessities and then get your extra stuff later on. So for me, I found a lot of character sheets are going to look the same. You know, the skills too, a little bit left to be desired because they split up like, I don't know, like they have pilot, boating, drive. Do you need 3 skills for basically the same thing? Especially when they don't give you really all that many skill points, you know? I mean, you have enough to kind of get your guy grounded in his basics, but I mean, come on, if you want to play like a rigger in Shadowrun or something like that, you're going to be eating up a whole lot of skills. Same with like climbing and running. I mean, when are games going to stop doing this? You know, like climbing, running, skateboarding, skipping, hopscotch. Just make an athletic skill and let's be done with it. We have better things to do than sit through all these skills. You know, they could have condensed them a little more. What I do like about Savage Worlds is that you play somebody special. You play what's called a wild card, which is like, you know, the star of a movie, which is what every role-playing game should be. You shouldn't be just a guy with a sword. You should be somebody special, you know. In Savage Worlds, different rules apply to you. When you're a wild card, you get an extra die to roll. It's called the wild die, and you use that or the die you rolled for your skill, whichever one is higher. I like that. I like that a lot. You can take more punishment than the average person as well. You can endure 3 wounds, whereas a normal person can only take 1 wound before being knocked out. Very cool. I like that a lot. However, there's a thing called aces in this game, where if you roll the highest number on a die, you roll it again and keep adding it to your total as long as you keep rolling the highest number. So, pretty much every adventure to every other adventure, someone will roll a roll, or you'll roll a roll that's that pretty much can kill anything. You'll roll a 40 on damage, which will kill anyone. And it happens a lot. And I know what you're going to say, oh, well, then fudge the die roll. Yeah, but players know personally, when I play, you always know. The DM will say, okay, let's roll the. Take 2 damage. That wasn't the roll. That sort of thing I think should not happen because it makes the player feel, again, the player feels like, man, my guy's a chump. If he's, if the DM has to kind of lie, I understand the necessity for it, but events like that should really be kept to a minimum. And, I've been playing this game for a while. I've run this game for a while. Players know, believe me, they know. And personally, I always hate it. A lot of times, I'd rather just die than have the DM be like, oh, well, he killed you, but you don't die. That's kind of lame. It should be on the system to kind of prevent that. If it's a big dramatic boss fight, sure, not a problem. But when a drunk in an alley attacks you with a bottle and rolls a 45 on damage, what are you gonna do? So you can always make house rules and say, oh, well, you can only take 1 wound at a time because the higher you roll in this for damage, the more wounds you can do. So you could always say, well, you can only take 1 wound at a time. That helps. But then again, I had a bunch of house rules for Savage Worlds, and after playing it for a while, I was looking at like 2 pages of house rules, and I was like, maybe it's time for me to make my own system up, because with any system, if you have to have a lot of, kind of asterisk house rules in there to kind of fix it more to your liking, is it really the system for you? I mean, Savage Worlds is beautiful in its simplicity. I really like it. But after a while, I kind of wanted something else. They don't have levels in it. They have what's called, it's your rank. You start out as a novice, and then the last one is legendary. It's pretty much kind of like levels, but the only really thing that changes for you is that you have access to edges of different ranks, like legendary ranks or heroic edges or legendary edges. Besides that, your character pretty much stays the same. It's not that big of a difference like in D&D. I mean, a legendary character could very easily be killed by a novice character. So I don't mind it too much because you're still a wild card, you're still special, and I can kind of see the need to have like the rank system. I know for my D&D review I said that levels will bring about the apocalypse, and they will, believe me. But this I wasn't that offended by because the difference, it's just you have access to different edges, which, I guess that works for me. It's not that big a deal. But the thing I love most about Savage Worlds, by far, is the setting books. If you go to the Pinnacle website and you look at some of the settings that are available for this game, they're just great. They're fun and they're really, really, really well thought out. They have a game called Rippers, which is set in Victorian England, and you play a monster hunter. Great game, really great game. 50 Fathoms, which is like an adventure swashbuckling game, but with like a fantasy twist. Like they have. It's kind of like D&D in a pirate ship where you fight with squid men and crabmen, and I love it. That is personally my favorite one. They have Deadlands, which is probably the most famous out of them, where you're a wild western gunslinger shooting zombies and monsters and stuff like that. The main thing about this game is its spirit. I know that sounds kind of gay, but it's fun, and all the settings have a nice twist to them, and it's really creative, and I like it a whole lot. But I think that after a while, hardcore gamers, between you and me, like the pros we're talking about, after a while, you will kind of outgrow it, and you will kind of see, man, I'm making a lot of changes to this system, and it's probably not the one for me. The simple factor is a blessing and a curse after a while, because it's really easy to pick up and play. It's really fun. But I think, believe me, I played a lot of different games with this. I played this for a long time. After a while, you kind of outgrow it. You just want a little bit more, and I think that it's perfect for what it is. It's really, really great. And if you have an idea like a setting that you want to do, but you don't have a system, by all means, go download it from the site. They have PDFs. You can get a PDF file of it, or you could buy it for $10. I mean, it's not expensive, and you could use that system because it is a fine system, and it's really, really easy, and it's good to learn. I don't want to bash it, but don't expect it to hang around too much. Like you're gonna grow kind of past it. But the settings, they did a top-notch job on everything. I do recommend Savage Worlds and the setting books for them. Well, most of them. Pirates of the Spanish Main, I don't think so. Come on, guys, we could do better than that. But yeah, that is my review, and Nuclear Clown is out.